everybody, it's the War Hipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial, and today we are painting Eldari. Yes, we are here, and we are painting the new, taller Asurmen. Yes, Phoenix Lord of the, well, Dire Avengers, but all kinds of things. If my lore history is correct, and a massive thank you goes out to Games Workshop for sending me this one early to build up and paint with all of you. And well, we're going to jump in and we're going to start painting. He has been primed in Wraithbone, which might seem like a weird choice, but the blue is a really warm blue, so that's what we're aiming for. So the colour we're going to be using first is some Asurmen Blue, because it would be rude not to, right? And we're going to be applying this over the top of all of the armour, but what we've done is we've taken 4 parts of this and thinned it down with 1 part of Lahmian Medium just to improve the flow. So we're going to be applying this over the top of all of Asurmen's blue armour, and I'd recommend having the box art in front of you to see where all of this goes, because there is a couple of different bits that are different colours. And we're not only going to do this once, we're going to do this twice. So 2 layers of this going down over the top of all the blue armour. So with our 2 layers of that thinned down Asurmen Blue applied, we're now going to do the tricky part, which is to take Asurmen Blue on its own and apply this over the top. But just take it steady. Go a section at a time. And then once that's done, we'll come back. So with that blue all done, we've actually got another blue to do. Well, we've got 2, but we're going to work on a darker blue first. And that's the banner. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a roughly 4 parts Stormfiend to 1 part Lahmian Medium mix. And we're going to apply this over the top of this smooth section of the banner over here. Just whilst we're waiting for that to fully dry, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Frostheart and we're going to apply this over the top of the other parts of the field of the banner. It's in between the rays of sunshine. Over here. And so with that Frostheart will apply, we're then going to once again use a roughly 4 parts Stormfiend to 1 part Lahmian Medium mix. We'll apply this over the top of our Stormfiend. So with that all done, it is now finally time to move on to a different colour, which is going to be some Black Legion. We're going to be using this over, well, quite a few different black details. So we have things like the magazines here on the belt. We have the black stripes on both the helmet and the helmet plume. So for example, up here we want to just start picking out these sections of the mohawk. Like that sort of thing. We've got the actual shuriken pistols as well. There's the searchlights on the back. The banner pole. And then there's the left hand side of the yin yang symbol on the chest. So with a lot of black details all now filled in, what we're going to do is we're going to take some skeleton horde. We're now going to find all of the bone details. Now there's a lot of these as well. So what we have is we have the sun up here on the banner. Like that. We have the sort of, well, this bit here with the runes on it, which we can just apply over the top of the Black Legion. We don't have to avoid it. That's all good. Like that. We have, well, actually I think it's just, yeah, the last one is the inside of the cloak. So with all that skeleton horde applied, we're then going to take some Iyanden Yellow. And we're going to apply this over the top of those rays of sunshine on the banner. So with that all done, we're now going to take some Baal Red. I'm going to apply this over top of all of our red details. Now there is going to be a bit of variation, but we are looking for the outside of the cloak, looking for this lovely tassel here. We've got the head on the banner and Asurmen's helmet as well. Once all that Baal Red is applied, what we're going to do is we're going to take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Blood Angel's Red and Lahmian Medium. We're going to apply this over the top of all of the red for the moment. Just whilst we're waiting for all that Blood Angel's Red to dry, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Cygor Brown and we're going to apply this over the top of the leather details. So with that Cygor Brown all applied, we're then going to take some Carroburg Crimson. And we're going to apply this over top of the, well, the head on the banner, which is where I was going, but we're also going to apply this over the top of this tassel. And so with that all done, we're then going to use some Agrax Earthshade, and we're going to apply this over top of the cloak. So with that all done, our next job is to take some Briar Queen Chill. I'm going to apply this over the top of the sword blade. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some Nuln Oil. And we're going to apply this over the top of all of our white details, which are going to be areas like the tabard, the faceplate, the remaining sections of the mohawk on both the helmet and the banner. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is take some thinned down Retributor Armour, and we're going to be applying this over, well, loads of fiddly little details. So we're basically looking for any jewellery, any trim and any decoration. Now I'd recommend having the box art open in front of you so you can see where it's all placed, but we do have things like this hanging piece here by the tabard. We've got the gems and things on the legs and on the shoulders like that, for example, and there's the trim around it. We've got these bottom parts of the magazines, this bit here on the tummy, we've got the trim of the gem stuff on the front, and so on and so forth. There is a ton of gold. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Leadbelcher. We're going to apply this over the top of, well, all of our remaining details. So we have this kind of little housing back here on the power blade, like that. We have the central parts of the shurikens. We've got a cable at the back of the helmet, and we've got the lenses on the targeting systems and stuff like that. So with all that Leadbelcher applied, what we're now going to do before we do any shading is we're actually going to work on the power blade, because once we do the shading it'll be a little bit easier because we've finished the power blade. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some Terradon Turquoise, we're going to thin it down with roughly 3 parts Lahmian Medium. So it's going to be a 3:1 mix of Lahmian Medium and Terradon Turquoise. That's what we're trying to say. We're going to be doing a bit of blending here. So across 3 sections of the blade, we've got the flat there, the non-cutting edge. We then got the flat here, which is also a non-cutting edge, but the cutting edge, we're going to be leaving that section for now. So we're going to take the Terradon Turquoise, we're going to add 3 little kind of blobs of blend. So we're going to apply the Terradon Turquoise like so. Then we're going to wash the brush, touch off the water, and then at either end we're just going to smooth out the transition like that sort of thing. Then we're going to do it again. So we're going to move along to around about here. Add the blob, wash the brush, touch off the water, then give it the blends, and then we're going to do it one more time around about here. Wash the brush, touch off the water. Then give it the blends, like so. We then need to do the same thing on the actual blade itself. So we're just going to tilt the thing, model, that's the word we're looking for, and we're going to do a little blob here. Wash the brush, touch off the water, and then give it a little blend, like just feathering it away. Then we're going to do the same thing next to it, just there. Wash the brush, touch off the water, give it a good blending. And then we're just going to do one more on the end. Wash the brush, touch off the water, and blend it out. And then we're going to do it on the other side as well. So with that all done, same mix again. 3 parts Lahmian Medium to 1 part Terradon Turquoise. And we're going to go over it. But we're going to go a little bit narrower. So we're going to apply our Terradon Turquoise like so. Wash the brush. Touch off the water. And give it the blends. And we're going to do this 2 more times. So with that all done, it's now time to add some shades to the model. And the first of these is going to be some Tyran Blue. We're going to use this over the top of the Stormfiend area. And we're also going to use this over the top of the sword. And with that Tyran Blue all applied, we're then going to take some Reikland Fleshshade. We're going to use this to shade all the gold. With all that Reikland Fleshshade applied, we're then going to take some Nuln Oil and we're going to apply this over top of the black and the silver. So with that all done, Asurmen is now what I would call a War Hipster battle ready. He's looking pretty good. However, we're not going to leave it there, of course not. We're going to take it to the next level. We're going to do this by adding some layers and some highlights. Now the first of these is going to be a layer. It's going to be some thinned down Mephiston Red. And we're going to be using this over the top of the outside of the cloak. This is just because we want to unify it a little bit. And whilst it might look a little bit bright at first, it will dry down significantly darker over the top. So we're going to apply this all over the top of this, just avoiding any of our deepest, darkest recesses. And then once that's done, we'll come back. So with that Mephiston Red applied to the cloak, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Corax White. I'm going to use this to relayer all of our white details. So with all that Corax White applied, we're still sticking with it, because what we're going to do is we're going to use this now to highlight the blade and also pick out the stars on the banner. One thing we can do here on the blade is take a really small amount of it and apply a little diagonal line right in the middle of our blends. Like that. And for our final relayer, now that Corax White is dealt with, I'm still not happy with the head on the banner, so what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Vorbak Red. I'm going to apply this over the top of it. Just like that sort of thing. Just leave the edge, in fact, and give you a lovely highlight. So with that all done, the relayering is now finished. So what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the highlighting. And the first colour we're going to be using is some thinned down Teclis Blue. And we're going to use this to highlight the blue armour, and the Stormfiend. So with all of that Teclis Blue applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Lothern Blue. I'm going to use this to add some little spot highlights to the sharpest points of both the Stormfiend area, like that, and the armour. So with that all done, the blue is now finished. So what we're going to do is we're going to move on, and we're going to take some thinned down Wazdakka Red. I'm going to use this to highlight this little piece of fabric here and the head on the banner. So with that Wazdakka Red applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Evil Sunz Scarlet. And we're going to use this to highlight the helmet and the cloak. And with that Evil Sunz Scarlet all applied, we're now going to take some thinned down Fire Dragon Bright. And we're going to use this to add spot highlights to our little bit of fabric over here. We don't need to do this on the helmet on the banner, but we are also going to use this Fire Dragon Bright to add spot highlights to the cloak and the helmet. So with that all done, the red is now finished. So what we're going to do is move on to the white, and we're going to take some thinned down white scar. I'm going to use this to highlight all of said white, excluding the stars on the banner. But what we will also do here with the white scar is we're going to use this to add a little spot highlight towards the tip of the blade, like that, just to make it look extra sharp. So with all of that white scar applied, we're now going to take some thinned down Dorn Yellow. And we're going to use this to highlight the yellow and our stars. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is take some thinned down Dawnstone. I'm going to use this to highlight all of our black details. Just trying to pick a place to start. We'll start here, over here on this shuriken pistol. And so with all that Dawnstone applied, what we're now going to do is take some thinned down Liberator Gold. I'm going to use this to highlight all of the gold. And so with all that Liberator Gold applied, we're now going to take some thinned down Stormhost Silver. And we're going to use this to highlight all the silver, but what we're also going to do is we're going to use the Stormhost Silver to relayer all the gems. And so with that all done, we're now going to finish off Asurmen, and we're going to use two colours to do so. We're going to use Talassar Blue and Blood Angels Red, and we're going to be using this over the top of various different gems. So for example, we're going to take some Talassar Blue, and we're going to apply this over the top of things like the eye lenses. So in here. Like so. But we're also going to apply it over things like the gem on his forehead. Like that. We've got the one here on the tummy, the two on the legs, and we've got the lenses of the targeting systems on his back. However, we do also have the Blood Angels Red to do. So we're going to be applying the Blood Angels Red over the top of a couple of different gems, such as these ones here. Like that. And the ones on the sword So with that all done, Asurmen is now finished. It looks pretty fantastic. So what we're going to do is going to very quickly work on the base. And, well, the colour we're going to be using first here is some Skeleton Horde. And we're just going to apply this over the top of the runic part of this piece of stone. And so with all of that Skeleton Horde applied, we then take some Black Templar and we apply this over top of the rest of the stone. And so with that Black Templar all applied, we're then going to take some Black Legion and apply this over the top of all the vines. And so with that done, we're now basically just going to do the last couple of bits. So I'm going to do what I usually do, use a bit of Sterling Mud and dry brush the entire thing with some Tyrant Skull. Then add some tufts and do the rim. But of course you can do whatever you like. And there you have it, in our base completed in the standard fashion, Asurmen, the Hand of Asuryan, is now finished. It's really good, I like it. The paint job. The blue in particular is a very special highlight for me, and I really like the red of the cloak as well. There's lots of cool opportunities for painting on Asurmen, so, you know, it's a fun model in that respect. Lots of different textures, so that's nice, eh?
If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done, scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.